Before we get into tonight's reviews, I want to take a second to talk about some of this HBO Max news, chat. Apparently, David Zaslav, he is sharpening his axe and he is cutting off heads, killing shows before they even finish shows. They're already done, waiting to go up. And he's like, nope, either I don't want anyone else to see this or send it somewhere else. And apparently that's what's happening, chat. This is from a TV Line. And Batman series, Urkel Holiday Special, among animated projects not moving forward for HBO Max, will be shopped out. Batman Cape Crusader, which 15 months ago received a series order from HBO Max and Cartoon Network, is among 6 animated projects that are no longer being produced for HBO Max, which is claimed for TV Line. TV Line hears that all 6 projects, mostly from Warner Bros. Animation, will continue production while they are shopped to other outlets. Well, that's good. They're still working on these things. This won't be on HBO Max anymore, which is weird that HBO and one of those properties won't be available on their streaming service. But okay, David Zaslav knows better than us, chap. News, of course, comes amid numerous program changes at an in-transition HBO Max where some projects are being nixed and others that already stream on the service are being not so quietly removed. Batman Cape Crusader is an animated reimagining of the Batman mythology by way of Batman animated series owned Bruce Timm with J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, and Ed Brubaker. Wow. Also serving as EPs. Reeves, of course, directed The Batman, the big screen's most recent live-action take on The Dark Knight, now played by Robert Pattinson. While Abrams, in addition to, of course, numerous Star Trek and Star Wars projects, plus TV's Lost and Alias, is an EP on HBO Max, is still in development Justice League Dark Series. That ain't happening. I'll tell you right now, I doubt that's happening. Utilizing state-of-the-art animation techniques and technologies, the creative partnership between WB Animation and EP's promises to reinvent Batman and his iconic rogues gallery with sophisticated storytelling, nuanced characters, and intense action sequences, all set in a visually striking world. So and then in this animated family action comedy, I guess they're talking about some other shorts that they were creating as well, chat. So a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of animated projects that are now gone, canceled outright, or being worked on, but they will not be on the HBO Max streaming service. They'll be shopped up to various other services and other networks, which is very, very, very frustrating. Again, Chad, as I said before, as I've covered HBO Max in these last, several weeks and several months, yes, it's like there's no doubt that Warner Brothers was in need of restructuring. They need a sense of structure. I think, one of the things that has plagued them is that they very much have been shoot by the hip. It's been chaotic. They're literally throwing things against the wall and see if they stick, which is not the greatest strategy, of course. But to come in there and just completely remove just huge swaths of content is concerning to me, especially because some of these shows. Now, listen, whether or not they bring the viewers, like, okay, that's, I understand. The cold, hard business calculus of it is like, listen, these things aren't bringing in the views. Got to remove it. But at the same time, then where is this going? Because if anything, this is just going to proliferate, piracy from various people and to take these shows and keep them for themselves. And if you do eventually bring them back or put on other networks, people won't watch them again because they've already pirated them. But again, it also just feels like they're specifically targeting certain genres and mediums, chat. They seem to be targeting a lot of scripted content, which is what people are saying, like, oh, they're not targeting scripted content, but that's what they're going after. And they're also targeting animation. They're gutting animation, which has been rumored for a long time. And, hearing this recent news, that seems to be exactly the case. When you're axing, Chad, a Batman animated project being run by people like Bruce Timm and J.J. Abrams and Ed Brubaker and Matt Reeves, I'm like, that is weird to me. And that is very concerning, because a lot of those guys, depending how you feel about any of them, they do have a pedigree of quality, right, among themselves and together. I mean, imagine what they could possibly do. And so, yeah, this is really frustrating to me. It has me very concerned. It's like, yes, David Zaslav has said to all of his shareholders, like, oh, we have a plan. We have a 10-year plan for, Warner Brothers and, and for the DC universe. We wanted Kevin Feige to come in there and run it all. And I would ask him, like, who's that person? He's like, I don't know. What movies you're going to have in the 10-year plan? I don't know. And that's the problem. They have not given specific details. They've talked in very broad terms. And you got to be specific, at this point. People are saying, like, don't worry, trust in Zaslav. It's like, I don't want to start trusting the guy until we're like 5 years into his tenure. Let's see where we are 5 years into the new DC cinematic universe, or whatever the hell it's going to be called, before we can start to render judgment. Because right now, I'm just like, you haven't greenlit anything new. Like, nothing new has been greenlit. It's all just cancellations and killing of shows and gutting of various content and making your streaming service less valuable to me as a customer. That's the thing that I'm concerned about. Is like, you're taking away stuff that I like, and so then why should I invest in your streaming service? But that's just how I feel about the matter, Chat. What about you guys? How do you feel about, just the complete gutting of scripted content, of animation from HBO Max and Warner Discovery Bros, as I now call them, and just the general status of Warner Brothers right now? What are you saying, Chat? Chris Ayers, thank you for the 10 biddies. I do appreciate it. Apparently, one of the reasons they're removing so many shows is because they don't want to pay royalties to creators or actors, which, to be honest, that's super fucking scummy. Yeah, people, I wonder then, because Owen Dennison and his people, Owen Dennison is the creator of Infinity Train, and they're just making that, they just want to not even acknowledge that it even existed. Like, that's the thing. I talked about this with Martin last night and with Vanny. The thing that's interesting about the Infinity Train is that they were removing any acknowledgement of that series' existence from their various platforms, not just HBO Max, but from like the Cartoon Network website, from the YouTube channels, and other like social media platforms. It's like so fucking bizarre. I've never seen something like that before. I mean, maybe if there's examples, please let me know. But I can't think of anything on the top of my head. So that's really, really shitty to me. Let's see, Rick. Crawl, as long as you keep Bruce Tim from running any more Bruce and Beckers. Oh, that's true. Like, he's got to stop doing that. I agree. Ace Rock, never getting juicy without you, good sir. Wasn't going to get juicy until you got here, of course. They would cancel Harley Quinn if didn't have... I'm sure. I'm still concerned about Harley Quinn. I want to know, like, has that gotten the season 4 green light? I'm not sure, chat. Oh, better got those prices too, or else. Yeah, I bet they're going to go up. I bet they're going to raise them. I would not be surprised. And they're losing money because of that shit they're doing. They just lost $2.39 billion more in stocks Friday. There you go. Jarvis calls me good to see. If those creators can't get an animated Batman show off the ground over at W, then nothing is safe. I know, like, seriously, that's some of the best animation has come from, Warner Brothers TV side, especially back in the 90s, from Bruce Timm and people like Paul Dini and all those other guys. Good to have you here, Colonel Useless. Welcome. The only reason why I have HBO Max is I got it free through someone else's cable HBO account. I'm already not very interested in paying for it as is. Gutting everything isn't going to entice me. What shows, movies are they taking off the platform? I mean, there's a whole list of things that you can check out. They've continued to move, they've removed a lot of animated projects. Infinity Train probably the most notable one. But now they're just canceling stuff that would have gone, either canceling it or shopping it to other platforms that would have gone HBO Max. And this is some of the latest stuff specifically, which is like this new Batman animated series that was going to debut there. Let's see here. I don't like what it seems like everyone is gutting animation. Heard Netflix. Yeah, the animation's doing Netflix is doing the same thing too. That's true. I'll say, I'm trying to be hopeful about these projects because at least they're not canceled at least. But David Zaslav needs to take a trip to the Infinity Train. Why run a media company if you don't like media? I know. Especially when you're screwing over creators to make these cuts. Yeah, that sucks. That's pretty shitty. That is pretty shitty. Let's see here. Yeah. Wait, you have to pay writers, creators for the shows? Can't be doing that. You realize 8 more seasons for F-Boy. I know, F-Boy Island. Ugh. Louis Boston Film Max built up a lot of good faith during the pandemic. They did a lot of great shows with that same release day thing. Plus, they had a lot of beloved content. Now they're just ruining it. Yeah, they're taking. I think a lot of that's going to be removed. Yeah, this sucks. We like HBO Max too. Yeah, they're just removing content. I'm very curious to see what HBO Max is going to be in like the next couple of years, and how much is actually going to still be on there, chat. But speaking for myself, I mean, listen, I'm going to keep HBO Max. It's still a streaming service that I use also for content creation. Obviously, they do have big shows coming out. There's no doubt about it. I mean, House of the Dragon is their latest one, but yeah, at this point, it's just shitty how they're treating a lot of creators and just completely erasing the existence of shows that they were responsible for. That's the one thing that is still, to me, very, very odd and very concerning. But we'll see. I'm curious to hear other people's opinions on this news. Do you care? Do you not care? What would you like to see HBO Max do and Warner Discovery do in the future? I don't know. I just don't know, chat.